Hey guys, welcome to Home with Ariel. I'm going to show you how to make these cute Pinafore dresses. I used an Old Simplicity pattern. First you want to cut out the fabric and then you're going to iron everything. Next you want to stay stitch the bib in the direction I'm showing you. You're going to stay stitch it at a 1/2 inch seam allowance, and then the rest of your seams will be 5/8. I'm making these Pinafore dresses as part of my girls' capsule wardrobe for the warm weather. I plan on making most of their clothes. I have a ton of scrap fabric that people have given me, so that's my goal. Well, I'm gonna take you guys along the journey. Next, you are going to attach the straps to the shoulders. Make sure you match up your notches. Okay, you're gonna go ahead and pin the front facing to the bib, and you're gonna match up the shoulder seams, and you're gonna sew everything on the sides and through the neckline, but you're gonna leave the bottom of the bib and the bottom of the straps open. That way you can flip it out right side out. After that, you're gonna go ahead and trim away some of the excess. Flipping these corners will help make it not so bulky when you do flip it right side out. You also want to clip along the curve of the straps. Go ahead and flip it right side out. It's a little bit tedious, but once you're done, you are pretty much done with the bib part of this Pinafore dress. Next, we're going to move on to the skirt. This is the front piece of the skirt. There's a front and back piece. The front piece is pleated towards the center, so I made that center pleat, which is just, they're just folds, and then on the sides it's all folding towards that center pleat. I use these handy little clips to hold my pleats together, and then you're gonna baste stitch all the pleats. So that will be at about a 1/2 inch seam allowance, and a basting stitch is just a looser stitch, so you would lengthen your stitch length to like a 4. And that's where you're going to do your base stitch. Once you're done with that, you're going to attach the back of the skirt to the front of the skirt with right sides together. Go ahead and match up any notches you might have. And you're going to sew along those side seams. To finish that seam, you're going to want to zigzag or use your serger. That way the fabric doesn't unravel. There we go. Now this long piece of fabric is your waistband, and it's also the casing for the elastic we're going to put in. So go ahead and sew it together at the ends. That way you have a circular piece. You attach the bib to the skirt, the front of the skirt, right sides together. On this particular Pinafore, my facing and the front of the bib are the same fabric, so don't get confused by that. Then you're going to take that waistband elastic casing and you're going to match the notches on it with the notches on the back of the skirt. Now for this casing, you're going to pin the right side of the casing to the wrong side of the skirt, or the inside of the skirt. So I'm doing that here all the way around. The right side of the casing is on the wrong side of the skirt. Go ahead and sew that, and then trim all these excess. That way when you put in the elastic, it won't be so bulky. I'm done trimming that. I don't show it here, but I ironed the casing and folded it over, and then I top stitched it right here to the top of the skirt. This is very out of focus, but I am ironing my hemline before sewing it, and with a curved hemline, that's the way to do it. It helps prevent puckers. Next, you're going to make the buttonholes. I use this buttonhole foot. It is so easy to use. You attach the button to it so it does the proper size, and they come out so beautiful. Next, I'm going to put the elastic in the casing. So the casing should have a little opening there. I use a safety pin, and this is really tedious, but you just kind of push the elastic all the way through that tunnel. And then you're going to stitch the elastic together, the two ends, which I did by hand here, but you can use a sewing machine as well. And Then once you're done stitching it together, you're going to tuck the elastic in the casing and sew the casing shut. I used a blind stitch, I think that's what you call it, to sew it shut. And basically you're going through the fold of the fabric. So you're attaching two pieces of fabric together, you're going through the fold of one end and then crossing over to the other fabric and going through that fold. I'm sure there's a tutorial you could watch on YouTube about this, but it's so beautiful because when it's done, you really cannot see the thread. It's amazing. Next, you're going to attach the buttons. I just kind of eyeballed where I was going to put them and attached them by hand. And that is the final step in making this Pinafore jumper dress. Thank you so much for watching, and please stay tuned for more videos that I'm going to be posting about the other outfits to include in my girls' warm weather capsule wardrobe.